Koenigsegg CCX. Swedish engineering sculpted 806 horses into carbon fiber poetry that rewrote hypercar law. Born from a nation of safety engineers and fighter jets, yet destined to become one of the world's most extreme hypercars. The Koenigsegg CCX arrived in 2006 as the automotive equivalent of a Declaration of Independence, announcing that a small Swedish manufacturer could not only build a hypercar, but engineer every critical component in-house and meet the world's strictest regulations. The name itself tells the story, Competition Coupe X, with the Roman numeral 10 commemorating the decade since Christian von Koenigsegg's first prototype took its maiden test drive in 1996. This wasn't merely another iteration of an existing design, but a complete reimagining, engineered specifically to conquer the American market while maintaining the uncompromising performance philosophy that defined the brand. At its heart sat a completely new 4.7-litre twin-supercharged V8 engine developed entirely by Koenigsegg's engineering team, replacing the modified Ford modular engines of previous models. This power plant delivered 806 horsepower on readily available 91-octane fuel, meeting California's stringent emission standards while propelling the CCX beyond 245 miles per hour. The CCX represented more than technical achievement. It embodied the audacity of a manufacturer with fewer than 50 employees challenging automotive giants with century-long legacies. With a carbon fiber monocoque chassis, dihedral synchrohelix doors, and a removable Targa roof panel, the CCX combined Scandinavian minimalism with Italian exoticism. Between 2006 and 2010, just 49 examples would be produced across all variants, including the biofuel-powered CCXR and the diamond weave CCXR Trevita. Today, these cars command prices exceeding $2 million, with the rarest Trevita variant reaching $4.8 million, representing appreciation of over 266% from their original $95,000 to $470,000 pricing. The CCX wasn't just Koenigsegg's breakthrough, it was Sweden's answer to Modena, Maranello, and Munich combined. The CCX project began with a challenge that would have deterred most manufacturers: create a hypercar capable of meeting every safety and environmental regulation worldwide, particularly the notoriously strict American market requirements. Previous Koenigsegg models had relied on modified Ford modular V8 engines, but Christian von Koenigsegg recognized that true independence required proprietary powertrains. The decision to develop an entirely in-house engine represented enormous risk for a small manufacturer, requiring investment in design, testing, and production capabilities that most established brands simply purchased from suppliers. Koenigsegg's engineering team collaborated with Grainger and Worrell, a UK-based casting specialist with Formula One experience, to cast the engine block from 3056 aluminum with T7 heat treatment. The resulting 4.7-litre twin-supercharged V8 was engineered to run on 91-octane gasoline, the standard fuel grade readily available at American gas stations, while still producing 806 horsepower at 7,000 RPM and 679 pound-feet of torque at 5,500 RPM. This represented a masterclass in engineering compromise, balancing accessibility with performance in ways that competitors like Bugatti and Ferrari had never attempted. The chassis required complete redesign as well, with the CCX slightly larger than its CCR predecessor to accommodate American safety regulations. The carbon fiber monocoque incorporated aluminum honeycomb reinforcement and Kevlar for impact protection, while maintaining the lightweight construction essential for performance. Industrial designer David Crawford's original CC design concept was refined by Christian von Koenigsegg himself, who served as chief designer. The development process consumed years of testing and refinement, with particular attention paid to aerodynamics, cooling, and structural integrity. When the CCX was unveiled at the Geneva Motor Show on February 28, 2006, it represented not just a new model, but Koenigsegg's transformation from kit car curiosity to legitimate hypercar manufacturer. Chapter 3: Scandinavian Fighter Jet Aesthetic. The CCX's design philosophy drew inspiration from an unexpected source: the Swedish Saab JAS-39 Gripen fighter jet, with interior elements reflecting the cockpit's purposeful minimalism and functional elegance. Unlike Italian exotics that favoured dramatic curves and aggressive angles, the CCX embodied Scandinavian restraint, with clean lines and purposeful surfaces that prioritized aerodynamic efficiency over visual drama. The signature dihedral synchrohelix actuation doors opened upward and outward in a unique motion that became instantly recognizable, combining theatrical entry with practical considerations for tight parking spaces. The body, constructed entirely from carbon fiber, measured 169.02 inches in length, 78.58 inches in width, and just 44.09 inches in height, creating a low, wide stance that communicated speed even at rest. Christian von Koenigsegg's design prioritized function over fashion, with every surface serving aerodynamic or cooling purposes. The removable Targa roof panel allowed open-air motoring while maintaining structural rigidity, an engineering challenge that required careful chassis reinforcement. The drag coefficient of 0.32 was remarkable for a car with such dramatic performance capabilities, demonstrating sophisticated aerodynamic development. Inside, the cockpit reflected aviation influence with a minimalist dashboard, aircraft-inspired switches, and a focus on driver-centric ergonomics. The optional Inconel exhaust system, borrowed from aerospace applications, demonstrated Koenigsegg's willingness to employ exotic materials regardless of cost. Carbon ceramic brakes provided stopping power matching the acceleration capabilities, essential for a car capable of reaching 200 km per hour in just 9.3 seconds. In March 2009, Forbes recognized the CCXR variant as one of the world's most beautiful cars, validating Koenigsegg's restrained aesthetic approach. The Edition models introduced additional aerodynamic elements, including a rear wing generating 350 kilograms of downforce at 250 kilometers per hour, transforming the CCX from speed machine to track weapon. At the CCX's core sat Koenigsegg's first completely in-house developed engine, a 4.7-litre twin-supercharged V8 that represented years of engineering development and testing. The power plant featured a 356 aluminum block with T7 heat treatment, cast by Formula One specialists Granger and Worrell, providing strength while minimizing weight. Twin superchargers forced air into the combustion chambers, generating 806 horsepower at 7,000 rpm and 920 newton-meters of torque at 5,500 rpm on standard 91-octane gasoline. This fuel flexibility proved crucial for American market acceptance, where high-octane racing fuel wasn't readily available at every gas station. The mid-engine, rear-wheel drive layout provided optimal weight distribution and handling characteristics, with the engine positioned directly behind the passenger compartment for minimal polar moment of inertia. The carbon fiber monocoque chassis with aluminum honeycomb reinforcement created a structure that was simultaneously incredibly rigid and remarkably light, contributing to the CCX's power-to-weight ratio of 683 brake horsepower per ton. This ratio translated to devastating acceleration: 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.2 seconds, 0 to 200 kilometers per hour in 9.3 seconds, and a complete 0 to 300 kilometers per hour and back to 0 in just 29.2 seconds. The CCXR variant introduced flex fuel capability, running on E85 or E100 biofuel to produce an astounding 1,018 horsepower while reducing environmental impact. This biofuel capability earned the CCXR the nickname Flower Power, demonstrating that environmental consciousness and extreme performance weren't mutually exclusive. Later edition models featured enlarged 4.8-litre engines with track-focused modifications, while the final special edition variants introduced Koenigsegg's first paddle-shift transmission. Top speed exceeded 245 miles per hour, briefly earning the CCX recognition as the world's fastest production car in 2006. Every technical specification reflected Koenigsegg's philosophy: maximum performance through minimum weight, achieved through exotic materials and meticulous engineering. Chapter 5: Performance Beyond Comprehension. The CCX didn't just accelerate quickly, it redefined what small-volume manufacturers could achieve in performance terms, competing directly with automotive giants possessing vastly greater resources. The 3.2-second sprint to 60 miles per hour placed it among the world's fastest cars. But the truly remarkable figure was the 9.3-second run to 200 kilometers per hour, demonstrating sustained acceleration that few vehicles could match. In 2008, German magazine Sport Auto conducted the ultimate performance test: 0 to 300 kilometers per hour and back to 0, which the CCX completed in 29.2 seconds, winning the comparison. This test measured not just acceleration, but also aerodynamic efficiency, brake performance, and overall engineering integration, areas where the CCX excelled despite its relatively modest production volumes. The top speed exceeding 245 miles per hour required sophisticated aerodynamics and tremendous power, with the twin-supercharged engine delivering relentless thrust across the entire rev range. The power-to-weight ratio of 683 brake horsepower per ton meant the CCX offered supercar acceleration with hypercar top-end performance. The CCXR variant's 1,018 horsepower on biofuel represented a quantum leap, making it one of the first production cars to exceed 1,000 horsepower while running on renewable fuel. Handling characteristics benefited from the mid-engine layout and carbon fiber construction, with neutral balance and predictable responses even at extreme speeds. The Edition model's aerodynamic enhancements generated 350 kilograms of downforce at 250 kilometers per hour, transforming high-speed stability and cornering capabilities. Carbon ceramic brakes provided fade-free stopping power even after repeated high-speed runs, essential for track use or spirited road driving. The CCX demonstrated that performance wasn't merely about horsepower figures, but rather the integration of power, weight, aerodynamics, and chassis dynamics into a cohesive package. Owners reported that the car felt manageable at legal speeds, yet transformed into something otherworldly when unleashed on track or unrestricted roads. Between 2006 and 2010, Koenigsegg produced exactly 49 CCX variants, making it one of the rarest hypercars ever manufactured. This production total included 30 standard CCX models, 9 CCXR biofuel variants, 6 CCX and CCXR Edition models, 2 CCXR Special Edition examples, and just 2 CCXR Trivita models with diamond weave carbon fiber. The Trevita represents perhaps the ultimate in automotive exclusivity, originally planned for 3 units, but ultimately limited to 2 when Koenigsegg determined that the proprietary diamond weave carbon fiber process was too complex and expensive for even limited production. This diamond weave finish, a Koenigsegg innovation, involved coating carbon fiber strands with a diamond dust-impregnated resin that created a sparkling crystalline appearance in sunlight, transforming the typically matte black carbon fiber into something resembling precious metal. Each CCX required extensive hand assembly at Koenigsegg's Engelholm facility, with skilled technicians spending weeks on individual cars. The original pricing ranged from So 95,000 to I 470,000, approximately 540,000 to 600,000 USD at 2006 exchange rates, positioning the CCX competitively against Ferrari Enzo and Porsche Carrera GT, while undercutting the Bugatti Veyron. Production remained deliberately limited, not just for exclusivity, but also due to Koenigsegg's small workforce and hand-built manufacturing process, with fewer than 50 employees producing each car. The CCX contributed to Koenigsegg's total production of fewer than 250 cars across all models as of 2023, making any Koenigsegg ownership extraordinarily exclusive. This rarity wasn't artificial marketing, but rather the natural result of a small manufacturer's capacity, constraints and commitment to hand-built quality. Each variant featured unique specifications and customer customization options, meaning no 2 CCX models were identical. The Edition and Special Edition variants offered even greater exclusivity, with track-focused modifications and enhanced performance specifications that appealed to serious collectors and driving enthusiasts. Chapter 7. Top Gear Legend Status. The CCX achieved legendary status through one of the most famous automotive television moments in history, its appearance on BBC's Top Gear in 2006 during Series 8, Episode 1. The Stig, Top Gear's anonymous test driver, took the CCX around the show's test track at full speed, but at approximately 130 miles per hour, the car suffered a power steering failure and crashed dramatically, with the Stig walking away unharmed, but the car requiring repairs. Rather than dismissing the incident, Koenigsegg analyzed the crash data and determined that the CCX generated so much power and speed that it required additional aerodynamic downforce for stability. Christian von Koenigsegg personally designed an optional rear wing, which became known as the Top Gear wing, and returned to the show for another attempt. With the new wing installed, the Stig lapped the track in 1:17.6, setting a new Top Gear lap record and demonstrating the CCX's true capabilities. The presenters, famously unable to spell Koenigsegg correctly, listed the car on their lapboard as Koenigsegg CCX with the Top Gear wing, creating an enduring joke that actually increased the car's recognition. This appearance transformed the CCX from obscure Swedish exotic to internationally recognized hypercar, with the Top Gear episode viewed by millions worldwide. The incident also demonstrated Koenigsegg's responsiveness and engineering agility, developing and testing a solution within weeks rather than months. Beyond television, the CCX appeared in multiple video games, including Need for Speed Shift, Shift 2, Unleashed, Hot Pursuit, No Limits, World and Edge, cementing its status in gaming culture and introducing younger audiences to the Koenigsegg brand. The CCXR Trevita gained additional celebrity attention when boxer Floyd Mayweather purchased one, later selling it in 2017 for $2.6 million. These cultural touchpoints elevated the CCX beyond mere automotive achievement into popular consciousness, making it recognizable even to non-enthusiasts. Koenigsegg's racing ambitions for the CCX platform resulted in the CCGT, a competition variant developed specifically for the FIA GT Championship and unveiled at the 2007 Geneva Motor Show. The CCGT featured a naturally aspirated 5.0-litre version of the CCX engine with superchargers removed, producing over 600 horsepower while generating more than 600 kilograms of downforce through extensive aerodynamic modifications. The race car represented significant engineering investment, with Koenigsegg adapting the road car's carbon monocoque chassis for competition use and developing racing-specific suspension, braking, and aerodynamic systems. Initial shakedown runs proved promising, with the CCGT demonstrating competitive pace and reliability during testing sessions. However, just 2 months after completing these initial runs, the FIA GT1 regulations changed dramatically, disallowing carbon fiber monocoques and requiring minimum annual production of 350 road cars. For a manufacturer producing fewer than 50 cars annually across all models, this 350-unit requirement proved impossible to meet, effectively prohibiting the CCGT from ever competing in the championship it was designed to dominate. The regulation change appeared targeted at excluding small-volume manufacturers, protecting established brands from boutique competitors with advanced technology, but limited production capacity. The single CCGT built never turned a competitive lap, remaining a testament to Koenigsegg's racing ambitions and the politics of motorsport regulation. This unique race car was eventually sold at Bonham's Goodwood Festival of Speed auction on July 14, 2023 for $3,319,000, demonstrating strong collector interest in Koenigsegg's racing heritage, despite the car's lack of competition history. While the CCGT never achieved its intended purpose, the development work influenced subsequent Koenigsegg models, with aerodynamic lessons learned informing the edition variant's track-focused enhancements. The CCGT story became part of Koenigsegg lore, representing the brand's willingness to compete at the highest levels and the challenges facing independent manufacturers in regulated motorsport. Chapter 9: Investment Grade Appreciation. The CCX has demonstrated remarkable value appreciation, transforming from a $395,000 to $470,000, new to current values ranging from $1.2 million to $2.1 million for standard examples, representing approximately 266% appreciation over 15 years. This appreciation reflects growing recognition of Koenigsegg's significance in hypercar history and the CCX's role as the model that established the brand's credibility. The CCXR variants command premium pricing due to their biofuel capability and higher performance specifications, with a 2008 CCXR selling for $3,222,500 at Broad Arrow Auctions, Monterey in 2025. The CCXR Trevita represents the ultimate CCX collectability, with only 2 examples produced and current valuations reaching $4.8 million. Floyd Mayweather's Trevita sold for $2.6 million in 2017, and values have increased substantially since then as Koenigsegg's reputation has grown. A 2008 CCX sold for $1,215,000 at RM Sotheby's Monterey in 2021, establishing strong auction precedent for standard variants. Collectability stems from multiple factors: extreme rarity with only 49 total units produced, historical significance as Koenigsegg's first US market car and first with in-house engine, the famous Top Gear connection adding provenance, and membership in the exclusive group of fewer than 250 total Koenigseggs ever built. The CCX represents accessible entry into Koenigsegg ownership compared to newer models, while offering the cachet of the brand's breakthrough model. Market dynamics favor continued appreciation as Koenigsegg's reputation strengthens, and the company's limited production ensures supply constraints. Condition and provenance significantly impact values, with low mileage examples, documented service history, and original specifications commanding premiums. The top gear wing, once an optional modification, now adds value due to its cultural significance and connection to the famous television appearance. Investment potential remains strong given hypercar market trends, Koenigsegg's growing collector recognition, and the CCX's pivotal role in the brand's history. The CCX's legacy extends far beyond its 2006 to 2010 production run, establishing foundations that continue influencing Koenigsegg today. Most significantly, the in-house engine development initiated with the CCX led directly to subsequent Koenigsegg powertrains, including the 5.0-litre V8 used in the Agera and the advanced engines powering current models. This engineering independence, born from necessity for US market compliance, became Koenigsegg's defining characteristic, distinguishing it from competitors relying on supplier engines. The biofuel technology pioneered in the CCXR influenced later models like the Agera R, demonstrating Koenigsegg's commitment to environmental responsibility alongside extreme performance. The CCX established Koenigsegg's design language with dihedral synchrohelix doors, minimalist Scandinavian aesthetics, and aviation-inspired details that continue characterizing the brand. The car proved that small manufacturers could meet global regulatory requirements, opening markets that had been closed to boutique hypercar builders. When the Agera replaced the CCX in 2010, it built directly upon the CCX platform's lessons, refining rather than revolutionizing the formula. The CCX demonstrated that Koenigsegg could compete with established manufacturers possessing vastly greater resources, legitimizing the brand in ways previous models hadn't achieved. Christian von Koenigsegg's willingness to respond to the Styx crash by developing the top gear wing within weeks exemplified the company's agility and customer focus. The CCXR's flower power concept, combining 1,018 horsepower with biofuel operation, influenced industry discussions about alternative fuels in performance applications. Today, with Koenigsegg producing models like the Jesko and Gemera, the CCX's influence remains evident in the company's engineering philosophy, design approach, and commitment to in-house development. The 49 CCX variants produced represent not just rare collectibles, but chapters in the story of how a small Swedish manufacturer became a legitimate hypercar powerhouse, challenging and often surpassing brands with century-long legacies and unlimited budgets.